Scaling your production. How to handle manufacturing as your brand grows. You've got awesome designs and marketing is bringing in orders. Great, excellent. But can you actually produce and deliver your products on time and at good quality? Let's get into something a lot of brand owners struggle with, especially in the beginning: manufacturing and production. For many clothing brands, scaling up production is the point where things can go very right or very wrong. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. Figuring out manufacturing is a challenge. In fact, over half of clothing brand owners say supply chain issues are actually their #1 challenge. So you're not alone if this keeps you up at night. I've been through the ringer with my own brand on this, from small early runs to large-scale production. And at PSM, we specialize in manufacturing services to help our clients grow without losing their sanity. So here's my honest advice on handling manufacturing as you scale. #1, start small and test the waters. When you're just starting out or launching a new design, resist the urge to order a huge batch right away. Don't spend 10 grand on inventory before you have the orders to back it up. I know, bulk orders can lower your cost per unit, and it's tempting to stock up, assuming your stuff will sell like hotcakes, because it will. However, nothing feels worse than being stuck with hundreds and thousands of units you can't sell. Then you have to do mystery bundles and give discounts. It's a whole mess. Begin with a smaller run to test demand and validate quality. Work out the kinks on a small scale. For instance, order 50 or 100 pieces first, or even less if your manufacturer allows it. At PSM, we have manufacturers who have under 30 MOQs. Just as a point of reference. This does two things. #1, it limits your risk and it lets you check the manufacturer's work. If those first 30 or 50 units have issues, say the print fades or stitching comes undone, you've just saved yourself from a potential disaster or even going out of business on a 500 unit order, for instance. Once you're confident that people love the product and quality is on point, then you can scale that order quantity up. Secondly, choose your manufacturers wisely. Not all manufacturers are created equal. Finding a good manufacturing partner can be a challenge, but it's definitely worth putting in the time. At PSM, we've worked with over 100 manufacturing companies, and we found the top 10. So do your research. Ask fellow brand owners for referrals if you can. If you're looking online, say on Alibaba or any directories, pay attention to reviews and communication responsiveness. That is key in establishing that relationship. Always get samples before a full production run. It might cost a bit and add some time, but it's so much better to spot problems in a sample run than after you've paid for, 1,000 pieces, right? Check the sample for things like fabric quality, print, or embroidery, durability, sizing accuracy, etc. Also, try to gauge how the factory communicates. Do they answer your questions clearly? Do they understand your design specs? Communication is huge. If there's a language barrier or they're slow to respond when you're just sampling, imagine when mid-production and on a deadline, how frustrating that's going to be. You want a manufacturer who sees you as a partner, not just another order. So, as I said earlier, at PSM, we've built relationships with reliable manufacturers because we know a bad vendor can really sink a brand. So, take your time to pick the right people to make your products. #3, prioritize quality control at every single step. Be tedious. When you do scale to bigger production runs, don't just cross your fingers and hope all goes well. Implement quality control checkpoints. This could mean getting a pre-production sample, an exact final version of one of your items from the actual production run, to approve before they manufacture the rest. Some brands also hire third-party inspectors, especially if producing overseas, to check random units in the batch for defects. If that's too costly and you're not doing that kind of numbers yet, at least do a thorough check yourself as soon as inventory arrives at your door. I've seen brands lose thousands of dollars because an entire shipment had a misprinted logo or bad stitching that they didn't catch in time. Don't be that brand owner. Even at a smaller scale, check your products. If you print shirts locally, inspect them before selling. It only takes one batch of a bad product to wreck your reputation with customers. Remember, your name is on its product. Maintain your standards fiercely. It's way cheaper to prevent quality issues than to damage control with angry customers and returns. #4, plan your inventory and production ahead of time. One of the trickiest parts of scaling is timing your production cycles. You don't want to constantly sell out and make customers wait, but you also don't want to drown in excess inventory. The sweet spot is planning. Look at your sales trends and forecast as best you can. If you know you have big promotions or a seasonal spike coming, like the holiday season for example, start production early. Most manufacturers have lead times, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, depending on if it's local or overseas, custom, blank goods, etc. Factor all of that in. I am a big fan of doing limited drops or even pre-orders to gauge demand. We don't actually call it pre-orders, but we'll cover that in another video. For example, you could announce a new design and take orders for 2 weeks, then produce based on that quantity plus a little extra. That way, you're essentially producing to order and not way overshooting. Another tip, diversify your production if possible. Maybe have a primary manufacturer, but also have a backup supplier, especially for crucial items. That way, if one factory runs into a delay, because it happens, machines break, materials run late, trust me, you have a plan B. Good inventory management is key to cash flow. You need to have product to sell without tying up every dollar in unsold stock. It is a balancing act, but with experience, you'll get better at anticipating what you need. Number 5, build strong relationships and don't burn bridges. This industry, like many others, runs on relationships, as I've mentioned a few times today. Treat your manufacturers and suppliers as partners. Pay them on time, because it matters. A lot of people don't do this. Be clear and respectful in communication. When you find a manufacturer that delivers quality work, stick with them and nurture that relationship. It can lead to better terms, policy treatment when you have rush jobs, more flexibility, and you can get a better bulk deal. I also suggest not relying on just email, hop on calls, or even visit in person if you can. Obviously, this is easier if they're domestic. Face-to-face or voice-to-voice builds trust. And if something goes wrong, which at some point it probably will, approach it collaboratively. Instead of blasting your supplier in anger, work together to solve the issue. That said, if a partner consistently drops the ball or won't meet your standards, you have to be ready to walk away and find a new solution. Business is business at the end of the day. But whenever possible, try to fix issues and grow together. Also, consider the logistics side of manufacturing as part of this relationship piece. As you grow, you might need faster shipping, better packaging, etc. Good partners in your supply chain can help streamline these aspects also. The end goal is a smooth pipeline from production to your customers' hands. Scaling production is definitely a challenge, but getting it right is what allows your brand to go from selling 100 pieces a month to 1,000 pieces a week, right? It's about being cautious, but also being ready to seize opportunity when demand spikes, because we need to prepare for success, not for failure. Trust me, when you hit that moment where you have more orders than you ever imagined, you'll be thankful you set up a solid manufacturing process to handle it. If this sounds overwhelming, I know, don't worry. PSM can help. We've helped brands set up manufacturing processes, funnels, etc., find trustworthy production partners, and create systems that can handle massive growth. Whether you need one-on-one mentorship on manufacturing or you want us to connect you with our network of vetted suppliers, we got you. We ensure quality and efficiency at every step because we treat your products like our own. Remember, every huge clothing brand out there had to solve the manufacturing puzzle, and you can too. Take it step by step. Don't cut corners and keep your standards high. You've got people who want your products. Now, make sure you can deliver. And as always, if you need a hand, we're here to help. Let's get those products made and out into the world.